What's that, Skip? Shauno's talking about Supercoach again. Let's go. G'day everybody, it's Shauno again, and I'm back with some more Supercoach content. Today we're going to be doing our round 21 review video where we go through how our team did, what our potential trades are this week, and what our potential captain and vice captains are for this week as well. Plus we'll go a little bit into our leagues and how we did in the first week of the Supercoach finals. If you like the video, please leave me a like. Don't forget to subscribe. We're still trying to get to 300 subscribers before the end of the season. That would help me out a lot, and if you leave a comment down below, that also helps out with the YouTube algorithm a lot as well, so that would be fantastic. Alright, let's get straight into it. This week we got a score of 2,738. Pretty good. At the end of Saturday night, I thought we could actually have one of these huge scores where we got close to 2,900, but we had a few fails on Sunday, which just stopped us getting those really big scores. Still, overall rank this week, round rank was 17,000. Still 10,000 spots down from last week, but still pretty good. And our season rank went down 271 places. So now our overall season rank is 6,818. Always nice to see green arrows. Could have been quite a bit more of a jump, but we are dragging it in. We're probably going to struggle to get to top 5,000, but we're still within a chance. So not too bad, not too bad. Especially considering the huge scores this week. I think, what was that? This round 21 team of the week got 3,100. Highest score ever, I think, could be the call. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was the most scores over 3,000 ever with some of these huge scores that people had out there. So before we actually go into the team, let's have a quick chat about the leagues, because we talk about how important my leagues are to me. So we lost this week. Even with a score like that, we lost. Our opponent got the highest score in my league with a 2,914. And he could have had a bigger score too. He was a little bit unlucky as well, which we'll talk about basically now. So if we go into it now, I was lucky enough to finish in the top 4. We beat this same opponent a couple of weeks ago. He came back and got his revenge this week though. So he's sent me to the knockout stages where I'll play another good friend of mine. So again, congratulations to Brad. He probably deserved to win. He has a better team than me. He has an extra primo on the bench. So he's probably had a better season and probably deserved to get that win. This week we play Jason with Master Beta, and we need to beat him to progress in the final. So it's a knockout for me now, but luckily we did manage to get that top 4 position to give us a chance at least to go forward. Jason also has a very good team, even though I'm predicted to beat him here. This match could go either way. So hopefully I don't get knocked out in straight sets, but we're still in it. So still exciting times in the Supercoach world for me. As for the game day, let's have a look at Brad's team who beat me. Now, 2,914 who scored. He had Grundy as his vice captain, which pretty much sealed it for him. He would have won it anyway, but this has pretty much sealed it for him. No score with our unique players. He had not one of his players got less than 120. How's that? Like Bont 150, 149. Dawson started on 11 points, and he's the one that cost him the game last time we played, where he only got a score of about 80. This time he came back, even after being 11 points a quarter time, to get 150. Grundy with this, this was a hard watch. I was watching the score go up and up. I'm like, please put him on the bench. But no. Marshall also went big with a 144. Holmes a huge 154, and Clark with a 122. As for my players, we'll go through, but obviously you see the letdowns for here were pretty much McRae let me down a little bit, and we'll talk more about that when we go into the team. So anyway, that was a really good score by Brad there, and well done to him for winning that match. Hopefully, I don't if I make it through the Supercoach Grand Final, hopefully it's not against him, because I've got a feeling he's just got a very good team. His score would have been even bigger, but both of us got in Hayden Young this week, who got injured and only got 12, which meant we both had to take Butters 45 as a score instead of it being dropped out due to the flex. So if he had had another player instead of Hayden Young, say he got 100, he could have got another 50 points. So he could have been, minimum 50, 60 points higher than this. So he could have had a massive score. Anyway, through to my team crew. Let's have a look at how my team did. So Wangani Malera 108, very nice. Sinclair 128. Whitfield 126, very good. Baladale 97, we'll take it. Callum Mills 125, we love to see that. And Zorko gets 3 figures and a 101, that's fine. Clark with a 39 on the bench for a bit of coverage is nice too. We had Bont as our vice captain and we took the 150. So that was nice. As you can see, this is for next week, but we had him as our vice captain, took the 150, got a score of 300. Still wasn't good enough to match Grundy's 400, as you saw my opponent had in the leagues. Rao 134, Dacos 110, Butters got really tagged out of the game, 45. Like, this is not something we expect from him. Even when he gets the tag, we kind of feel that most of the time he can work through it and get a decent score, but I think it was Mullen, that's the Geelong gentleman's name, tagged him out of the game for a score of 45. And of course, with the injury, you can see to Hayden Young down here, I had to take that score, which was kind of hurt my score from being one that I could have gone up, I think, gone down quite a lot of places in my overall ranking. Brayshaw 101, Bailey Smith 119, and Harry Sheezel 131. Good on you, Shees. These two Essendon boys got dropped. One week they play, the next week they don't. I was all happy last week that I had lots of coverage, and this week I don't. Tom Gross came back and got a set 41. Hopefully they'll continue to play him for the rest of the season, and and give me a little bit of coverage. We had Gawn, and then we had English 202. I believe the highest score this season. I believe. If you know if someone has scored higher, let me know down in the comments. But I'm pretty sure 202 is the highest score of the season. And I was complaining about him last week, just getting me 80s for a couple of weeks in a row, and how I should have picked Darcy Cameron or something. But he came out and smashed that huge score this week. Still, I didn't have him as captain. If I did, it still wouldn't have won my legs, but geez, it would have been nice. McRae 78. This McRae only played limited time on ground, and I believe now that Nass is playing more as a midfielder and Sinclair's holding that back role, McRae is just not being used as much. He's an old man and they're giving him a rest, and it's kind of annoying because he's not playing that role that we know he can score big scores from. He's just not getting the time on ground to do it. So that's the problem with McRae. There's not much we're going to be able to do about it. With this Hayden Young problem, we've still got one trade that we're going to have to use to sort that out. So we'll get to that in just a second. So Darcy 119, very nice. Rankin 129, very, very good. Petrarca 117, nice to see him back up there. Warner 70 is just... he didn't even get his 80 or 90 that he usually gets. Pretty disappointing for him. And Caleb Daniel, the 142. Very, very nice. You'd be very disappointed if you traded him out. He is, especially the first week of Supercoach finals, to deliver a big smacking score like that is very nice. And Tom McCarthy, 123. What a time for him to do it as well. Paying off. He's really helping me by being in my flex. Considering I don't have a 23rd primo, he's really helping me out by delivering in that flex position. So overall, pretty good. Only had Sims get me 23 on the bench over here, which is pretty Sims-like, to be honest. So we got a king and a joker of the team. Well, I think the king, we just give it to English, right? 202, highest score of the season. I think he locks it away. Bond's captain score 150 was very nice. But, you can't go past that 202. It's a big, 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 big score. I almost thought once he scored this score that I had my league wrapped up, but I just was a bit afraid of Grundy. And as you saw from what we showed before, all my opponent's players just went off this week, and there was nothing I could do about it. So that's the king. The king of the team is English. The joker, why don't we give the joker to... give it to Warner. I mean, Butters was tagged. Warner just played a bit shit. Just can't really deliver those big midfield scores that he promised us earlier on in the season. You know, we knew he was going to be a bit up and down, but he's definitely been more down than up. I think the last couple of weeks, did he crack 100 2 weeks in a row? Just, but now back to a 70. So not what we expect from him, not what we want. We would prefer, even if he got 90, we'd be happy, but a 70 is just not what we want. And McRae, I mean, I'm not going to give it to McRae just because it's not really his fault. He's just not giving the time on the ground and in the position that he really needs to score those points. So, okay, that is that. Now, as for trades, we've only got one left, and it looks like we're probably going to have to use that trade. Hayden Young has a groin problem. Now, we were tempted to go Will Day, but we kind of knew our opponent was going to go for Hayden Young. Hayden Young looked really good in the 2 games he played. We thought it would be, if we could get through that last game where our opponent had the same player, we might be a bit different from other people, and he could really set us apart. Unfortunately, he gets a groin injury in the first quarter and gets 12 points. And also for us, it makes it really difficult because he lost about 40,000, and which only leaves us 438,000 to get someone. And there is literally nobody I want in this price range. Like last week, we could have got Will Day, we could have got Matthew Kennedy, we could have got there was LDU. We could have got all of those players we could have afforded. This week, none of those players we can afford, and there isn't like a gun midfielder, not even one who's like, you know, dropped off a little bit available. So I've had a quick look. You know, we've gone the average 95, 85, 3-round average. You know, there's still no one really here, and there's 5-round average. So there's only 2 players that I'm really considering, and I don't know why, but it's basically because it's all I can afford. And that's, if we go to 3-round average, it's the 2 Eagles boys, Marrick, and Tim Kelly. Both haven't been doing awesome, but this, I mean, since Marrick's position slightly changed, and Tim Kelly just hasn't had a great year, but he's got 200s back to back. But I'm leaning towards getting Marrick just because he seems to have gone back to that role. McCarthy looks like he might have been playing a little bit further up the field. He's still taking kickouts, McCarthy, but Marrick took the most kickouts. If we have a quick look at DFS this week and of the last few weeks, if we go to kick-ins, we go to West Coast Eagles. So in the last couple of weeks, so Marrick took 8 last week, which was the most, and he took 6 this week, which was the most. Now, it seems to be sharing it between quite a few with Liam Duggan and Tom McCarthy. Like, Tom McCarthy only took 2 this week. He seemed to be up closer to the midfield. He seemed to be up and around, but he up a little bit higher. He did take 6 last week, though. So, I mean, he still scored 140 points with only taking 2. But it looks like Marrick seems to be the designated kicker again. So, and we know with that position he can score kind of well, which he showed this week. Whereas opposed to Tim Kelly, I think in the midfield, it only takes the Eagles midfield to get smashed. And Tim Kelly has some really rotten scores this year of like 40s and 50s. So I think we're going to pick Marrick. I think we can't afford anybody else. At least we know that the ball's probably going to be in the Eagles' back line a lot. Not too many other people are going to have him. I doubt very much my other opponent is going to have him. Everyone's sold him. We have a look, how much is he owned? He's owned by 5% of teams. So he's definitely a pod. If he manages to take those kick-ins and get another big score like he did this week, if the ball spends a lot of time back there in the Eagles' back line, I think that's a pretty good chance. And they've got a pretty hard run. I think, who do they play? They play Adelaide this week. So I expect the ball to be in the Eagles' back line a lot. So anyway, that's my trade. We will have a look at trades later in our video later on this week. Sorry we didn't do a live video last week, but we weren't feeling the best. So, but this week we promise we'll get a live video out. And if anyone has trades left, or they've just got the one like me or something, or a couple, and they want to have some ideas of who are some good options, we'll have a look at that. And we'll also go through vice captain and captain choices for the community. For my team, I'm thinking as vice captain and captain, I'm thinking that I might try a sneaky Wanganeen Malira on Saturday into the Bont, because the Bont plays Melbourne, and I expect that to be a bit of a, crushing with how Melbourne have been playing lately. And Wanganeen Malira plays Richmond, and playing in the midfield against Richmond, I could see him having a decent game. My other options, I guess, would be Dacos on Thursday night, or maybe, and that's versus Hawthorn. So, how's his record there? It could be a tough matchup. 116 and 106 and 102 in his last 3 matches. So he's done okay. Hasn't set the world on fire, but he's done okay. Whereas Bont has gone 182, 126 and 107 in his last 3 games against Melbourne. So I definitely want him as my fallback as captain. He's been in ripper form, and he's been paying off as having my captain the last few weeks. I've been using the old KISS strategy of keep it simple, stupid, Shauno. We had an extra S on the end there. So I think just going Bont, knowing he's in such great form, and he's kind of one of those that bucks the trends, even if he wasn't playing a team that give away a lot of points to other midfielders, he just seems to be able to rock up. He seems to rack up those Supercoach points. So I think it's only the vice captain that I'm a little bit iffy, who I don't know. Like, do Hawthorn put some, work into Dacos? Maybe, so I think Wanganeen Malira is a bit of a smoky, and I don't think my opponent has either of them. The other one I don't mind. If you had anyone against West Coast, you've got Jordan Dawson against West Coast, that's probably look good. Melbourne versus Western Bulldogs, maybe Gawn would be a sneaky one as your captain, but it's a late game, and the same with Jordan Dawson. So out of all of those, I think I'd still be Bont into Melbourne. I still think it's the safest in the late games. Maybe a sneaky Sinclair into Richmond, or if you had Holmes, maybe a Holmes or a Bailey Smith in for Geelong versus Essendon. I think are also valid options as vice captains. I think with me, it'll either be Wanganeen Malira or Brodie Smith. The only thing with Brodie Smith, Essendon, do they rest him if they think they're going to win? Do they, it always just scares me picking Brodie Smith, whether he gets rested or he's laid out, or he always seems to have a niggle or not feeling well or something. I guess being a vice captain doesn't matter as much, but I just feel that if I pick him and he just, is a laid out or something, that'll be a big problem. Anyway, I think that's it, crew. So that's the team for the week and how we did. Not too bad. Again, if we go back here, still probably one of the highest scores I've ever got, 2,738. Maybe the highest, or it'd certainly be up there. As for our other leagues, we have 4 draft leagues. We're down to 1 now, where we knocked out all except 1. So we're in the running for 2 league premierships for our classic league and 1 draft league now, and considering we were only in 2 leagues in the classic, that's pretty good. So 2 for 2 there. We're still in the running for the premiership, and 1 in the draft league, so that's still exciting for me. And so I hope you really enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave me a like and leave me a comment down below, and I hope you all have a great week, and I will talk to you all again very soon. Take it away, Skip.